This is weird. Hi, I'm Erin. I haven't made a video on this channel in I think like 3 years. Um, I just randomly wanted to come on and make a video, not necessarily about books, because I know this channel is called Learn of Books, but I've actually gotten into the K-pop world recently, and if no one knows what K-pop is, it's Korean pop music. Yeah, I've become a little bit obsessed, and I wanted to just share my feelings on my biases. Uh, so, for those of you who have no idea what I'm talking about, you could probably just click off this video. But for those of you who have been interested in K-pop or have seen like the Fine Brothers do like the YouTubers react or like teens react to K-pop, if you've seen that, are like, oh, that looks interesting. Like, I highly recommend that you actually like look into it and check them out because it took me way too long to get into it, and now I'm obsessed and I need help. And I have no friends that well, I have friends, but I have no friends that really like K-pop or listen to it. I've tried to force friends to listen to it, but that doesn't really work out very well. Um, so I just wanted to maybe make friends, or I don't know, just share my feelings because I'm bored and why not? Okay, so for all you BTS, ARMY, whatever fans out there, um, I have RJ with me this evening. For those of you who don't know, BTS collaborated with Line Friends, which is like a company in Asia. I'm not sure where they like originated, but they make like plushies and like stationery stuff and like clothes and just like everything, and like with like cute characters. And BTS collaborated with them, and like each member made one. So that this is RJ. He's an alpaca. Obviously it's just his head because I thought just the head was cuter. And so, speaking of RJ, Jin is the one who created him, and I wanted to start off by talking about Jin because he is my bias for BTS. I feel so weird saying these words out loud. I usually only talk to myself about this. But yeah, he's my bias for BTS. I started getting into them around August of last year, so it's been about like 4 months-ish that like I've been into the whole K-pop scene. I think originally, I saw them through the Fine Brothers, like the React videos, and then for some reason I just decided to like watch more of their music videos, and then I saw that they were at the Billboard Music Awards and they won an award, and I was like, wow, that's really cool. And then I started watching some of their American interviews and started to try to memorize who was who. And initially I actually really liked RM, as he's called now, or Namjoon. I really liked him. He was, I think, him and J-Hope were like the easiest out of the bunch to like, sorry, this is annoying. They were like the easiest out of the bunch to like pick out. And also, Namjoon speaks English. So whenever I watched like the interviews, he was the one talking. So he was the one I was mostly focused on. So he kind of became my bias. And there was just like something about him. He just like has this like aura and like this swag. And like when he raps, it's like so cool. And like he has a nice voice, especially when he talks in English. It's like swag. Yeah, so he was my bias at first, but then once I started getting into them more, I started watching like them on Weekly Idol and After School Club and the V Live app where they do, like the live shows and like the Run BTS Run or whatever. So I started watching all of that and like getting really into them, and then things changed when I found Eat Jin. So that's like, if you guys don't know, which I'm sure you do, but it's like a live show that Jin does sometimes. He's like a big foodie and he loves to cook and stuff like that. So he makes videos when he goes on tour or he's in different countries. He makes like a live show where he eats the food. and you know, just like talks and just like, I don't know, just his mannerisms, especially when he eats. And like that's why he made the alpaca, because people call him, say he's looks like an alpaca when he's eating, because like the way he chews is just so funny. And I think everything about him is like so comical, and especially he has like, you know, his dad jokes, and I'm like, oh my god. I usually don't understand them because they're like Korean puns, so it's like, but just like the way he like portrays the jokes and stuff like that, it just makes me laugh so hard. And his laugh is fucking adorable. His like windshield laugh is like you know, I just think it's so funny. And I love that he's like kind of like the maknae of the group, like Jungkook basically is, but like he's just like acts like he's 19 even though he's like 20. I always get confused with Korean age and like American age. I think he's 25 or 26 in American age. But yeah, I just love him. And I'm gonna run out of time, and I'm not gonna be able to get through everyone, so I should probably just move on. Oh, before I do that, actually, I should say that my bias wrecker recently has been Yoongi. I don't know if I'm saying that right. I don't want to get hate. Please don't destroy me in the comments for the names, but Suga. He's recently definitely been a bias wrecker because initially, you know, he was like really quiet and I didn't really know him and he didn't really talk much and he was kind of emo and just like didn't really seem to have that much of a personality. So he was kind of like at the bottom of the list for me. But recently, like, I've been like discovering his personality, and he's kind of just like a grumpy dad that like sometimes will like throw out a joke or two, and he's just like, I feel like everything he does, he's like so passionate about like the music and stuff like that. I don't know, he's just like, he's killing me. But yeah, so that's my BTS bias list. So now I'm gonna move on to GOT7, which was the second group that I stumbled upon. I don't really know how I got into them. I don't know if I think honestly I saw them on an after school club episode, and it was the episode where this is how I remember, this is how I fell in love with Jackson Wang, who is my bias. And like, how is he not anyone's bias, to be honest? But it was episode, Jackson was wearing all black and he was wearing a red cardigan, and I think, I'm not sure if it was for their hard carry promotion or it was when he had like platinum blonde hair, and it was like all cute and like ruffly and like, I don't know, he just looked so good, and I was like, damn, who is that? And he speaks English. It was just so nice. So yeah, I like really loved him, but they all look so good. Like, if you guys haven't seen that after school club episode, I'll link it in the description, because like Mark looks so good because he's my bias wrecker. I think anyone that speaks English, usually I'm like, damn, I don't know, especially just like in GOT7, because my top 3 are Jackson, Mark, and Bam Bam, and they like all speak English. I don't really know if that has anything to do with it, but yeah, I just remember that episode. That's the episode where Bam Bam kind of hints at that his private area is the best part, is what he likes most about himself. And then somehow like him and Jimin are talking, and then he's like, how you know I'm not big? And that part just like, if anyone knows what I'm talking about, like, so I'm not crazy, but I just freaking love him. But anyways, back to my bias, who is Jackson Wang. My love for him is endless. He is just like, it's his personality, because I feel like no one, like, and I mean like that I know in like the K-pop idol world, has a personality like his. And I know that he said like multiple times in like interviews and stuff, is that he went to an American school in Hong Kong. So it's basically like, you know, they teach like an American school would, instead of like, you know, what's typical in China or Hong Kong. And so, like, because all of his teachers in, like, elementary school were like, bruh, like, you're crazy, like, you're not cut out for this, like, you need to go to an American school. So he did, and then, you know, he just, like, has that, like, I don't know, he's just, like, when I first, like, started getting into GOT7, I was like, Jackson is, like, who is this man? Like, and I didn't know that, like, that they, like, people, K-pop idols can not be Korean. So I was, like, so confused. I was, like, both with Jackson, Bam Bam, and Mark, I was, like, they don't look Korean, like, at all. Jackson especially, and Bam Bam, I don't think, like, they look Korean at all. And so, yeah, I just got really into them and into Jackson because he's just a fucking goofball and he's so hot and just... And then I started watching him on Roommate, which just, like, killed me even more because he's just, like, so cute and, like, there's so many sides to him and I cherish that boy so much. This is really annoying. Sorry. And then next we have EXO. I know that there's a lot of controversy between like EXO and BTS, you know, the ARMY and the exo-ls. But, you know, I'm a fan of both. I just don't understand why we can't just coexist in peace and harmony. Why can't we just love them all? They're all beautiful. They're all so talented, and I just don't get it. I don't get it. Maybe if I was like a 12-year-old who was, you know, a little less immature, then I'd understand the hate wars that go on and stuff like that on Twitter. But I just don't get it. Anyways, I'm gonna have to make this 2 parts because I'm already running out of time, but I'll just go over to EXO quickly. And yeah, so my bias for EXO is definitely Chanyeol. Just even thinking about him, oh, he's so precious. Before I even got into EXO, I like saw him somewhere, or I was like Googling. I'm pretty sure I Googled like top like K-pop, like, you know, like the most popular K-pop groups, and EXO came up, and I was like, it said that they were like a 12-person group, and I was like, hell no. I was like, I could barely handle 7 at the time, so I was like, there's no way I'm doing 12. But then I started getting into them, and then I watched one interview. I think it was the Star Show 360 interview. So it was 9 of them at the time. And I just remember seeing Chanyeol, and I was like, wow, he's so cute. He looks like, I don't even know, just like his big ears, and just like, he's just so precious, and I love him, and he's so tall. Oh, that's why. Okay, so I have a thing for tall guys. It's a problem. So I'm pretty sure I looked up tallest guys in K-pop, like, you know, like the tallest K-pop idols. And he popped up as like one of the tallest because he's 6'1", I think. So automatically I was like, okay, like this man, he cute, he fine. So yeah, immediately I was like, okay, like he's my bias, no question. And then when I started getting into them, I was like, oh my god, like he's amazing. And then I think that's where I'm gonna end it because I'm gonna have to make a part 2 because I'm pretty sure I can only go up to 15 minutes. So I'll come back with a part 2.